What up, what up? This is Ace OG. Back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is going to be the charges against Sean Puffy Combs. So admin notes, thanks again to all subscribe to the channel. And endeavor to keep pushing your video out. Give you leverage, the better yourselves. So I'm on my lunch break. This is the day, one of the days of the week that I actually work from home. It's a beautiful thing to be teleworking, I'm telling you, y'all. It really is. But I put the work in. You know, being in the IT field, I can do a lot of my work remotely. And it's a blessing, it really is. It gives me a chance to, to spend more time with my family. And also gives me time to make videos for my channel, right? But I made a very short video, I want to say yesterday or the day before, about Puff Daddy being arrested. So now I'm going to do somewhat of a bigger deep dive when it comes to this. I'm going to give, I actually have the indictment papers pulled up in a PDF form. So I'm not going to read the whole indictment. The indictment is 14 pages long. If you want to see and read the indictment for yourself, you can just type in a Google search bar Puff Daddy indictment, and it should pull up. There's a couple of sites you can go to. You can go to the DOJ website, the Department of Justice website. There was 2 other websites that I saw that indictment is on as well. It might not be the full papers, I'm not sure. But I went to the DOJ website because, of course, being military, once I saw the government site, I was like, this probably is going to be the official one, right? Excuse me, y'all, I got to have my coffee. When I'm home, it feels like I'm a little more fatigued, and also, you've been rocking with me. I went out this morning and worked out in the rain. So I've already taken my shower, washed my hair, all these other things or whatever. So I'm feeling kind of fatigued, but I still got to work. I'm probably going to be working until about 6 o'clock tonight. But like I said, I'm going to take some time to make this video right quick because I think it needs to be talked about. So let's get into it. So the charges against Sean Puffy Combs. So I got a couple of papers up here on my phone, my other phone. And this is the actual indictment. So I'm not gonna read the whole indictment because, like I said, it's 14 pages. It goes very in depth with the charges, but I'm gonna read off the 3 charges, and I'm gonna go a little bit more of a deep dive into the charges. So there's 3 counts. So count 1 is racketeering conspiracy. Racketeering, right? So what is racketeering? Let's put a definition for that. So racketeering is a set of illegal activities aimed at commercial profit that may be disguised as legitimate business deals. Racketeering is defined by a coordinated effort by multiple people. By multiple people, meaning that it's not going to be just Sean Puffy Combs being charged with some things. Because, I know a lot of folks are actually looking at it like, he was the mastermind. And he probably was, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to debate whether he's guilty or not. That's not what this video is about. But racketeering pretty much, it insinuates that there was more than him involved in this, which means there's going to be some more folks being charged. I promise you it will. So anyway, like I said, racketeering is defined by coordinated effort by multiple people to repeatedly earn a profit, typically by fraud, extortion, bribery, threats, violence, and other illegal means. So racketeering is no joke, y'all. It really isn't. And you got to also understand that these are federal charges. The feds came and got him. This wasn't state. This wasn't some other entity. This was the feds that came and got him. So what you got to understand is that when the feds come get you, that means that they built a very extremely strong case against you. They don't just come and just get anybody. And they don't come without hard, concrete evidence. They just don't do that. That's the reason why they have over a 90% conviction rate. I don't know what the actual specific number is, but it's over 90%. Now, there have been some folks that have been able to beat Fed charges in the past, but it is a very, very, very small, minute number. Very small. And I'm not exactly sure how these guys beat them, but normally you don't beat the Feds. Normally it comes down to, okay, I'm guilty. I'll just take a plea deal. Because if you try to fight the Feds and you lose, you're going to lose hard. You really are, right? So that's the definition of racketeering. So let's go back to the indictment. Racketeering conspiracy. That's what it says, actually, on the indictment papers. So it says Sean Combs, and it gives into a couple of AKAs that he has. The defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, and Combs Global. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, and apparel line. An alcoholic spirits business, meaning that I think that was Ciroc, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his directions made arrangements. I'm sorry. Let me go back. At times, Combs and others, meaning that they're pointing out there was more people involved in this, and others acting at his direction, meaning that he gave these folks direction. He gave them guidance for what they're supposed to do. Made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. That means that they were flying these women. That means that he was paying to have these women flown from state to state over to where he was at. So let me put a pause right there. So anybody that is thinking about flying a girl out to their residence or where they at right now for the purpose of sexual activity, you need to rethink that. You need to rethink that. Now, I'm saying now, of course, the feds don't go for small fish. You go for big fish. And Sean Combs is a big fish, right? So I'm not saying that if you do these things that the feds are going to come to your door tomorrow and try to arrest you. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that this is going to set a precedence as far as like how men are going to move when it comes to women. It really is, because if he is guilty and they find him guilty of this and he goes to jail, like sure enough, I'm telling you, anybody that try to do this the same thing, not exactly the same thing, but I mean it's for like flying women from another state to come see you just for the opportunity for sex, and you paid for it. First of all, prostitution is illegal anyway, other than I think Vegas. But I mean this is not good, y'all. It really isn't. So I'm just telling you right now, if you really got an idea that you want to do that, you might want to rethink. You might want to rethink that. I promise you. You might want to rethink that. You don't want to do that. Let's see. Yeah, at times, Combs and other acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. So, like the show you had years ago, I think early 2000s, Making the Band, I think it was called. I actually watched that. I watched all the seasons of that, back in the day. So basically what they're saying is that, when he was doing that, not to say that they're really pointing out that TV show, but, there's a pattern of him using different things to coerce and make women and men do his bidding when it came to sex and money and all these other things. It's not good, y'all. This is not good, y'all. So anyways, I'm gonna move on because I don't want to have the video last too long. So that was count one. Like I said, you want to read the whole indictment, go ahead and pull it up on Google. You'll find it. Let's move down to count two, because there's 3 counts. So count 2 is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. So we've heard on news outlets and the internet and social media about sex trafficking, right? Sex trafficking, human trafficking. That's a big thing now, y'all. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a daughter, and I mean, I watch my daughter like a hawk. Like, I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I really feel for her when she turns a teenager, because dad is gonna be on it. Like, I'm not playing these games, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing these games with my daughter when it comes to like, oh, you're gonna go and stay with one of your friends overnight somewhere. First of all, meet the parents, right? And even if I meet the parents and I think the parents are cool, you still may not stay over there overnight. You know what I'm saying? We gotta protect our daughters, man. We really do. And this right here, this sex trafficking thing, like these were people's daughters that he was doing this stuff to. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not here to say whether he's guilty or not guilty. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, if this is true and he was doing these things, this hits home for me, because what if this was my daughter he was doing this to? It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. So that's count 2. Count 3 is transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, I just said that prostitution is illegal, other than Vegas, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Don't quote me on it, but I think in Vegas is legal. But outside of Vegas, it's not legal. So if they're saying in count 1 that he was actually flying these folks in to Manhattan, that's in New York State, meaning that New York State they don't condone prostitution. So that means they were conducting legal activity anyway to begin with, right? So those are 3 counts. Once again, the first count is racketeering conspiracy. Second count is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. And count 3 is transportation to engage in prostitution. It's not looking good, y'all. Now, the racketeering thing is actually hit him with a RICO charge, right? I think some folks have heard what RICO is. So what is a RICO charge? Individuals can be charged under the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corruption Organizations. That's what RICO stands for. Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. If they engage in the affairs of an enterprise, they just said enterprise in the first count, through a pattern of racketeering activity. RICO also makes it illegal to invest income derived from racketeering activities in any enterprise affecting interstate or foreign commerce. That's probably the reason why he lost some of these endorsements, because they looked at it like maybe that because of what he was doing, that he was filtering this money through his enterprises, meaning that, his deal with Ciroc, this TV station he has, the record label, all these other things, right? So they probably seized a lot of his assets, you know what I'm saying, when they did that raid. There's a couple of things I can speak on as well as when it comes to that. But he's in jail right now without bail. They denied his bail. And from what I hear, he tried to offer them $50 million to post bail and his private plane and a couple of things, and the judge denied it. They said pretty much no. So he's going to stay in jail until his trial. They can appeal. His lawyers can appeal for him to get out and actually post bail, but that's up to the judge. And as of right now, I don't know if the judge is going to do that or not. So anyway, those are the charges concerning Sean Puffy Combs. So it's real, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay up to date. I may not do like a whole series on this thing, but I know there's going to be a whole bunch of influencers out there doing the same type of videos. But they may not go over the actual indictment itself. So that's why I went over some of the specifics of the indictment, because I want folks to really understand what he's charged with and the implications that this is going to have. Because just like with the R. Kelly situation, with him being in jail from what he's doing, I'm pretty sure that once folks found out exactly what he did and what he was charged for and what he went to jail for, some folks that was doing stuff that was crazy started moving differently. And I promise you, once all these things come out and he goes to trial, even before he goes to trial, folks are gonna start moving differently. You know what I'm saying? Because what's done in the dark can come into light. This might be karma for Puffy. It might be, because I want to say that the news station that I saw yesterday, where I think somebody was giving a press conference stating what he was being charged with, and they said this stuff goes all the way back to 2008. Now, there might have been stuff that happened before that time, but they're only starting from 2008 up until this point right now. So we're talking roughly 16 years of him doing this stuff. This is not something that that he did just yesterday or a month ago or a year ago. Like, this is 16 years and might be even longer than that. So for him to be able to actually like get off scot-free from these things, the RICO thing automatically is like 20 years. That's maximum for a RICO charge. And there's no ceiling when it comes to like what the minimum can be. So basically they have every way of saying like he can do 2 years, 3 years, 20 years. There's no minimum, but there is a maximum. And I'm pretty sure these lawyers are going to try to get the maximum for him. So It's a crazy thing for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the previous video, he need to stay prayed up because I'm telling you, he needs to repent. He really needs to. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, he might have been in a situation where he had been doing these things for so long and he knew it was wrong that he felt like he just couldn't get out of it. But one thing that I will say before I end this video is nobody is past redemption. I'm gonna say that again. Nobody is past redemption, meaning that somebody can repent and still have the love of God. Like, I mean, that's just real. Regardless of what he did, regardless of what anybody else did in life, regardless of what anybody has done to you in life, if they repent, God can forgive them, right? Now, and also, and you know, and it just goes back to religion, to a religion thing, the spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in God, there's some things that folks have done to me that have been abhorrent, and it's really upset me, and it's been very hard in life for me to forgive them. But in order for me to actually see the Lord, I got to forgive them. And we got to do the same thing with Puff. We just do. You know what I'm saying? Even though he did some crazy things, allegedly. Right? We don't know yet. You know, he hasn't been, you know, totally convicted yet. You know what I'm saying? But this indictment is very damning for him. So we'll see what happens, y'all. Like I said, I'm going to stay up to date myself on these things because, you know, I come from an era where, you know, Puff was the man for a long period of time in music. You know what I'm saying? He was putting out a lot of artists. And he definitely has grown an empire. And this empire is basically going to crumble under his feet. And it's a crazy thing, but, you know, if he did these things, karma is something else, y'all. It just really is, right? So anyways, you want me to discuss another topic or something you think it benefits you to the channel, email me at finditfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. This is Ace OG, signing out. I'm gone.